Fire is fast and can turn deadly in just a couple of minutes. The good news is, fire may be fast, but fire sprinklers are much faster. It's much safer for firefighters to respond to houses with residential fire sprinklers when there's an incident. I'm also very proud of our officials in Camas and Washougal for helping us and partnering with us to meet with stakeholders to find ways to provide protection to our homes. Today, we celebrate 5,000 homes that are sprinklered in our communities. We also celebrate 6 saves that prevented any injuries, it prevented any deaths, it prevented property loss, and it prevented any displacement. Fire sprinklers are simply the best way to protect residents and firefighters from fire. Fire sprinklers save lives and more.
Wow, congratulations. 5,000 homes protected with home fire sprinklers and 6 saves. That is definitely something to celebrate and a great way for us to kick off our program this morning. Happy Home Fire Sprinkler Week. Thank you to all of you who have helped us spread the word and increase awareness about home fire sprinklers across America. Thousands of members of the fire service, the fire sprinkler industry, and fire safety advocates have brought their digital voices together this week to promote fire sprinklers. Many have completed community outreach events this week, and we are also excited today to announce the winner of our SprinklerSmarts Feed the Firehouse drawing. We are here in Seattle, Washington with our new fire sprinkler demonstration trailer that you see behind me. And NFSA is proud to partner with fire departments and state associations across the nation with trailers like these because you see, we believe that seeing is believing. They say that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and we say that this seeing flashover happen will really be a difference maker to you and will help you better understand the important role that fire sprinklers play in keeping your family safe and everything that you value the most protected. Fire sprinklers buy time and time buys life, and we will see that together today. It is now my honor to introduce James Boulanger with Patriot Fire Protection, who also serves as the National Fire Sprinkler Association Chairman of the Board. James?
Thank you, Vicki. They asked me to be brief, so you're all in luck. All right. I'd like to start by thanking the Puget Sound Regional Fire Authority and Chief John Napier. I don't know if John's here today, but I know Pat is here, their information officer, and all the crew over here that's going to provide us with some fire suppression here very shortly. And when you see, you'll be glad they're here in about 10 minutes, so that's the good news. I want to also thank all the NFSA members that came out. I see probably a couple hundred people standing out here, contractors, on a perfect Northwest day, which I know that you all appreciate that. And lastly, Viking Supply Net for providing this facility, their yard, their brand new facility. I know Blair and Jimmy, you're out there somewhere, but thank you guys very much for doing this. NFSA is committed to what you're about to see today. We've been building trailers, providing these all over the country for many, many years. I smile about it because 30 years ago, I had the opportunity to be at a fire burn. In those days, they put you in the trailer with a raincoat on and a hat. And they said, the sprinkler in the corner will go off in time for you to get out. And you had to believe it. You had to believe those sprinklers, those Viking reliable sprinklers, whatever, they were going to do the job. When that fire started and you're in the corner of that room, you're about ready to blow out that door and you don't care about it anymore until that head goes off and the room gets cold and you say, wow, it really worked. We've come a long way. When this thing is over today, I think you'll be glad you're not sitting in the room. But I'm going to leave you with one thought. About 20 years ago, a good friend of mine called me on the phone and said, I'm building a nice new home, and they're making me put fire sprinklers in it. He was upset, bothered, couldn't stand the thought of it. I calmed him down. I told him it's plastic pipe. It's probably going to be orange. It's small. It's inexpensive, and we can do it for you. And we put in beautiful concealer heads, and life went on ever after. A year ago, he called me on the phone, and he said, "Hey, Jim, we're remodeling, of all things, our kitchen. And we're going to put these big, beautiful wood beams in. We're hoping could you bring a crew over here and cut out those sprinkler heads and cap that pipe because they're in the way." And the good news is I don't have to sprinkle it anymore because they put a fire hydrant within 1,000 feet of my house now. I said, so today as you watch this demonstration, I want you to think about that fire hydrant 1,000 feet away. And I want you to think about that fire department 3 miles away. And then I want you to appreciate what we're trying to accomplish. With that, I'm going to hand this back to Vicki. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you so much. I would also add to Jim's recognition a big shout out and thank you to the Pacific Northwest Regional Manager for NFSA, Suzanne. Suzanne's back there working hard. Thanks for all you did to make today happen, Suzanne. We appreciate you very much. Next up on the program is Lorraine Carli. Lorraine is the Home Fire Sprinkler Coalition President and NFPA's Vice President of Outreach and Advocacy. And I always love to listen to Lorraine. She always is able to really define the fire problem and help set goals that are achievable when we all work together. Lorraine?
Good morning, everybody. As Vicki said, I'm Lorraine Carli, NFPA's Vice President of Outreach and Advocacy and President of the Home Fire Sprinkler Coalition. Now, I also serve as on the board of the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation. 2 weeks ago, I had the privilege of reading some of the names of the 140 fallen heroes that were being honored this year. I read the profiles of each person for whom I'm reading their name to their families. One of those was a man who had been a volunteer firefighter in his community for over 30 years. At various points along the way, he served as chief of that department and then kept going back to firefighter because that's what he liked. And in January of 2024, he died while fighting a fire in a home. Not just any home. It was the home where his family lived. Now that's just one very powerful reason why we are here today. We are here to tell you how we can save more lives and more property from fire and better protect our first responders. They risk their lives every time they show up. It is with the proven ability of fire sprinklers that we can change those stories. Home fires are a severe threat to residents as well as first responders like Dan, who was from Fairvale Fire Department in New York. The most compelling statistic is one that most people don't realize. If there is a reported fire in your home today, you are more likely to die than you were 40 years ago. Fire is fast. Modern furnishings, open floor spaces, unprotected lightweight construction, technology such as lithium-ion batteries make home fires deadly in 2 minutes or less. That's not a lot of time to escape, especially if you have young children, older adults, people with disabilities, or even pets in our homes. Year after year, fire data reinforces the fact that fire sprinklers reduce injuries, deaths, property loss. Every building code in the U.S. includes the requirement to protect new homes with sprinklers. Now, there are more than 1 million homes built in the United States each year. Sadly, less than 10% of those homes are built with sprinklers. We see lack of public awareness, rampant myths, influence of special interest, primarily in the home building industry, who have successfully legislated sprinklers out of codes in more than 25 states. Often these groups argue that sprinklers cost too much, or they prevent affordable housing. The real question decision makers need to ask is, what is the cost when new homes are not built with sprinklers? We talk about firefighter exposure, injury, death, property loss, displacement cost, fire department resources, impact to our environment, and so much more. States and local jurisdictions are not fulfilling their obligations or meeting the expectation of the public to keep their communities safe when they strike the sprinkler requirement from the codes. Allowing substandard homes to be built in communities threatens community risk reduction for years to come. But I think the tide is turning. We are at a pivotal point. We are starting to see more jurisdictions keep sprinklers in the codes. Through education, we're seeing builders and developers learn that protecting homes, they can build and result in savings, such as being able to put more homes in developments or spacing fire hydrants further apart. Other kinds of developer incentives. Incentives can be offered when sprinklers are used. They realize that's a win for them, and we realize what that win is for the communities. Also, today's home buyers are fire safety savvy. When they learn about sprinklers, they want them. And as I can attest to my years working with the Fallen Firefighters Foundation, health and safety of our first responders is critical. Every time they fight a fire, they are at risk. They are suspected to harmful toxic flames and smoke and can be stricken by serious medical events. The need to lessen the burden on them by reducing home fires now and into the future. NFPA is proud to be a founding member of the Home Fire Sprinkler Coalition with the National Fire Sprinkler Association and the American Fire Sprinkler Association. Special thank you to NFSA, who is always beside us in this venture, and for this demonstration here today. We also thank UL Fire Safety Research Institute for being here in their ongoing support and the important research they do to continue to prove how deadly fires are and why sprinklers are so important. Well, as Vicki said, it has been a very successful week with fire departments and fire safety organizations advocating throughout North America about Home Fire Sprinkler Week. They're connecting people with these events like we see here today in their communities and creative approaches across their social channels. We're reaching millions of people this week. Now, I hope you have all entered the SprinklerSmarts feed, the firehouse drawing. We'll draw that later in the program, and that's a terrific event. We have also a wonderful group of board members that serve on the Home Fire Sprinkler Coalition that are committed to this mission and join together. They include State Farm, FM, National Fallen Firefighters Foundation, the IAFC Fire Life Safety Section, National Association of State Fire Marshals, the National Volunteer Fire Council, the Phoenix Society for Burn Survivors, the Canadian Automatic Sprinkler Association, and the U.S. Fire Administration. Also, thank you to the more than 3,700 Built for Life fire departments who are committed to educating about home fire sprinklers in their communities. They play a major role in reaching millions this week and throughout the year. Finally, thank you to the Fire Sprinkler Advisory Board of Puget Sound for supplying the trailer today, the Puget Sound Fire Authority for providing the crew and the fire suppression. We're going to be very happy about that when you see what happens, and Viking Supply Net for allowing us to do this event today at your facility. So please join us and share this life and property saving message. Every new home built with sprinklers, we would dramatically reduce the home fire problem. Home fire sprinklers are simply the best way to protect citizens and first responders like Dan from fire. Thank you.
Thank you, Lorraine. I often am reminded that fire sprinklers are truly a firefighter's best friend. And Lorraine, you highlighted an example of that very eloquently with the story. And you are correct. The National Fallen Firefighters Memorial Weekend is indeed a moment when we are all reminded of the importance of protecting those who serve our communities across the nation. On the theme of partnerships, I will absolutely say with much energy and excitement that when Underwriters Laboratory Fire Safety Research Institute engaged with our other national organizations and began conducting research that could quantify and qualify exactly what is going on with fire dynamics, what we are facing on the fire ground across America, it was a game changer. And we are honored today to have Nicole Sanders, who is the Research Amplification Lead for the Fire Safety Research Institute, part of UL Research Institutes, with us. Nicole, please share, I am of the opinion, some very exciting and groundbreaking news you have for us today. Nicole.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you to NFSA and the Home Fire Sprinkler Coalition for partnering with us, and NFPA as well. The Fire Safety Research Institute is very proud to be a member of the Home Fire Sprinkler Coalition and to support Home Fire Sprinkler Week. As an independent safety science organization, UL Research Institutes, FSRI is dedicated to resolving the world's unresolved fire safety risk and emerging dangers. And I want to underscore Lorraine's point earlier about home fire deaths. While the number of home fires in the U.S. is decreasing, the number of home fire deaths is increasing. For over a decade, FSRI has conducted extensive research together with the fire service on fire dynamics in the modern fire environment and its evolving hazards for the fire service and the public. And something we validated time and time again through our full-scale fire experiments across commercial, industrial, and residential structures is the speed at which fire grows, much quicker than it did years ago. Fire is indeed fast. In our recent collaborative research study with the Fire Department of New York, entitled Examining the Fire Safety Hazards of Lithium-ion Battery-Powered E-Mobility Devices in Homes, very long name, but good study, we saw rooms flash over in less than 1 minute from the first sign of failure in a lithium-ion battery inside that scooter going into thermal runaway. That can be less than half the time of a traditional fire. Again, fire is fast, but with home fire sprinklers, they are faster. In the experiments where we added a home fire sprinkler to the room of an e-scooter fire, the sprinkler didn't prevent the scooter from going into thermal runaway, but it did contain that fire. Having home fire sprinklers is like having a firefighter with you 24 hours a day. In addition to FSRI's findings, we have partnered with NFSA through our Office of Research, Experiences, and Education on a collection of educational materials that explore the science of how residential sprinklers work to effectively contain a home fire. This STEM learning pathway for middle school and high school teachers to use in their classrooms helps raise awareness of the sprinkler operations and its benefits. We encourage you to go out and check it out at the Science of Fire Safety on explorelabs.com. Thank you so much.
I will say that I know that they designed the Explore Labs for high school students. I promise you, if you go there, you will learn something new today as an adult. So I encourage you to check out the Science of Fire Safety. It is indeed eye-opening. Next up on our program, we've talked a lot about partnerships and the momentum that we are able to gain by partnering together. And one of our partners is not able to be with us in person today, but he recorded a message, and that would be Chief Josh Waldo, who serves as the president of the International Association of Fire Chiefs. Let's pause for just a moment and hear a message from Chief Waldo.
The International Association of Fire Chiefs is thrilled to partner with various national organizations as we celebrate Home Fire Sprinkler Week. Friends, we've got a challenge in front of us. Our codes and standards, fire sprinklers, they're under attack like they've never been. We have communities that are looking for ways to be more efficient, save money, make housing more affordable. And we are all for that as firefighters, fire chiefs, and fire service professionals. But in order to do that, we need good codes and standards and fire sprinklers as a tool in our toolbox to allow us to build safe, affordable, and efficient communities. We're here this week to talk about fire sprinklers, but this can't just be a one-week conversation. This has got to be a year-round effort by all of us. So I need all of you, not just this week, to continue to push the importance of fire sprinklers and codes in your communities. I need you to do this year-round. This has to be an ongoing conversation, or we're going to continue to lose the ground that we've spent decades gaining. So as you celebrate this week, take this message and carry it forward. Make this a year-round project in your organization and your community, and know that various organizations, including the International Association of Fire Chiefs, are here to help you.
Waldo, your words remind me of what Fire Service One Voice, which is an initiative that has been occurring across the nation for the past 2 years. Fire Service One Voice matters, and coming together, embracing the latest research, understanding the role that the fire service as well as fire safety organizations play in helping educate citizens across America is so key to that. This leads us up to what we're here to see and the culmination point for Home Fire Sprinkler Week, and that is a live fire side-by-side burn demonstration. We're also going to reveal the winner of our contest, and I'm going to toss it to Chief Shane Ray for a narration of the side-by-side burn and the selection of our winner.
Thank you, Vicki, and thank you all for being here. Thank you to the National Fire Sprinkler Association for providing these resources. We have approximately 40 of these trailers around the country, but we couldn't do this without our partners at the fire department. So how about a big hand for the Puget Sound Fire Authority? So side-by-side burn, we have 2 identical rooms here. We always start with the sprinkler side first, and so our message here is the importance. As you've heard our speakers say, fire is fast, 6 times faster than when I started on the fire department in 1984. We don't have time. Fire sprinklers buy time, time buys life. And that's what our demonstration. You have to have smoke alarms, so that's early warning. Get out, stay out, and close the door on your way out. It allows the fire department to have time to get there, time to get prepared, and time to fight the fires. So the other thing is, in our first demonstration is fire sprinklers. You heard them say, there's nothing faster than the fire sprinkler, and you want that when there's a fire. So we're gonna go ahead and light the fire. So Brian Biggs, our Southeast Regional Manager, is gonna light our fire. We have a fire in a waste paper basket. There's no accelerants used in this thing. It's just simply a fire. Could be discarded smoking materials, could be a candle that's turned over. So various things that cause fire. Over 45,000 people have died since 2010 in houses without sprinklers. And in buildings with sprinklers, 100 people. So look at the difference that sprinklers make. So again, we just have a fire in our waste paper basket. It'll climb up that curtain. And again, this time it has fire sprinklers. So get out, stay out, close the door on the way out, and then fire sprinklers. And then still we have to have firefighters. With the average response time in our country of 10 minutes from the time you call until the fire department is there, set up in a position like you see them today. So I can see smoke in there, and I'll squat down here so that those of you taking pictures, but so fire's fast. And the smoke, the furniture that you see here, we have burned this. There's the smoke alarm. Get out, stay out, and close the door. The fuel package that you see in here, this furniture, will fill up a 3,200 square foot house in less than 10 minutes. The energy code, there's our fire sprinkler. It's activated. So that one sprinkler, only the sprinkler closest to the fire goes off. They do not all go off in the building. Only the one closest. It's flowing approximately 20 gallons of water a minute. It activated when the ceiling temperature reached 155 degrees. And as our partners here with Paul Davis know, everything will dry out, but nothing will unburn. And this room is simply damaged. The other room that you'll see is destroyed. And so with this, you can see that the smoke in there, our firefighters on the scene, and they go and extinguish the fire. So you can still see some fire in the back there burning. And again, fire sprinklers buy time, time buys life. It allows for the fire department to get there and make a rescue. Fire sprinklers will never, the places in California, Maryland, and over 400 local jurisdictions that have fire sprinklers, the fire sprinklers are never going to take the place of the fire department. There's no place in the last 35 years that fire sprinklers have been adopted, which is one of the places where I was as the fire chief. They still have the same number of firefighters, so they'll never take the place. So smoke alarms, get out, stay out, close the door. Fire sprinklers, fire's fast, fire sprinklers are faster. And then our firefighters. We have to have early warning, early suppression, and emergency response. And as I said, we'll take the furniture that you see in here, we take that furniture out, dry it out, and the next burn, it'll be in the one without sprinklers. So we save our furniture. So again, fire's fast, but fire sprinklers are faster. So our firefighters, once they get this under control, then we will we'll set the one on fire that does not. It's missing a vital component in the other side. Even saved our teddy bear, so. Right. Everything will dry out. Nothing will unburn. Oh, Teddy, there's just a little damage, not destroyed. So, all right. Now then, we're going to go ahead and Chief Biggs set the other side on fire. So, I have on the floor a newspaper. It may be hard to see, but I had one over here too. Again, you could use that newspaper again. This other side is going to be the indicator for when our room goes to flashover. Flashover, nothing survives flashover. Even the firefighters, the protective gear you see them wearing, they can only be exposed for 17 seconds, even in that. So they must get out as well. So here we have the same fire. You see our smoke. Light the fire in the waste paper basket. And again, that's just newspaper. There's our early warning. Get out, stay out, close the door on the way out. But it's missing here. And as Lorraine said, only Maryland, California, and then 500 local jurisdictions leave the fire sprinklers in the code. They've been in the code since 2009, but most places take it out. So the sprinkler would have already operated and contained that fire. And here you see that's not the case. But what becomes deadly is the fuel. The fuel is the smoke. So that couch is now turned into smoke. And so if you'll watch the smoke build up in there, that's what's going to push that heat to the floor. And so just think if this is going out into the rest of your home, right? And I said this fuel package, this simple furniture in here is now all made out of synthetic material. So you couple the synthetic materials in our home with the modern energy code that makes our homes tighter and more energy efficient, which is a good thing until it's on fire. But if that smoke, as it builds up, that is the fuel. So that's that couch in a different form. And now I have fire on the floor, I have fire on the couch, and then now I have fire going up to the ceiling, so it's superheated. The ceiling in there is probably over 1,000 degrees now. And so as that builds up, you'll see that smoke layer get thicker and thicker. And when it does, that smoke's going to catch fire. And that's what we know when everything in the room can burn. You can see the chair there smoking now. And as that heat builds up at the ceiling, you can see it roll over the top of the ceiling. You can feel the heat. So that's that smoke catching fire. Now watch my newspaper on the floor. So as that newspaper catches fire, you can see it off-gassing now. Then that's what we know as flashover. And so there's my newspaper. All right, we'll go ahead and hit the fire, guys. That's what we know as flashover, folks. That is not survivable. Everything in a 3,200 square foot house in less than 5 minutes will be destroyed, and nothing can survive that fire. One side is damaged, this side is destroyed. So, and when we get finished here, you'll be able to walk up, take a look at that, take pictures, and see the difference that fire sprinklers make. But that room would have been over 1,200 degrees in that entire. So when that newspaper caught on fire, that meant that the floor was over 500 degrees at the floor level. And as Lorraine said, our firefighters, so 9/11 happened. 343 people died in 9/11. This October, they will put more names on the wall in New York City than died during 9/11 because of the exposure that firefighters has to these environments. So fire sprinklers buy time. Time buys life. Buys time for the fire department to arrive, buys time for you to escape, and makes the conditions much more sustainable even for our firefighters. So a very important role as to what they are exposed to in their daily routines. Ms. Vicki wants to know, who was the winner? The winner of the Firehouse Feed a Firehouse is Amber Hanson with Spokane County Fire District number 4, Station 41. So congratulations, Amber, and the Spokane County Fire District number 4. Everything will dry out, nothing will unburn. So thank you.
And remember what Chief Waldo said. Do not let this just be one day that we're celebrating. Let's keep this celebration going. Keep the celebration going all year long. We need to be engaged. We need to be promoting fire sprinklers. We need to educate about the important role that they play. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks to the Home Fire Sprinkler Coalition, all of our national organizations. We couldn't do it without all of us working together. Stay safe. Till next time.